Welcome to the K&B Music Den. As always, I'm Brad, and you, sir?
I am everyone's friend, Keith.
There we go. You certainly are. So,
Thank you.
guys, after you read the title there, let me adjust my camera.
Oh,
All right,
wow. I didn't
bam.
realize your hand was that big.
Yeah. So today, what we're doing, and we've done this before, Keith. We've stacked two albums side by side that have the same amount of tracks. Ranked track one versus track one, track two versus track two, and we come out with a score like it's a boxing match.
Yeah.
12 rounds. Well, this one's 13 rounds. So
Yeah, yeah.
there's a baker's, what do they call it? A baker's special or a
Baker's dozen?
there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So this is a
Yeah.
baker's dozen of a match between two Pearl Jam albums. Which albums do you think they are, Keith? You should know.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that one of them is Yield.
You nailed it. That is one of them.
And what's the other one, buddy?
The other one is our Underdog album when we did a big time ranking, Binaural.
There it is.
Boom. There we go.
You know, I have a Pearl Jam t-shirt with that picture on the cover because I saw them on the Binaural tour.
That's a good album cover.
Which I'm wondering if that's part of my affinity for this album is maybe I'm a little biased because I did see that tour, but who
I don't
knows?
think so. Going back through this, it's a great album.
It is a great album, and so is Yield. So
Yep. So this is gonna be a hell of a fight.
yeah, it is, man. I think they made their announcements, and they're both back in their corners, and I
Here
think
we
I hear the
go.
bell about to ring, right?
There it comes. And out of the corner, what do we got? We got Brain of J.
Yes.
And look, guys. I printed this all out, and I printed it over top 3 times. So when you see me struggling, it's because I'm reading behind what's printed over it. But it's Brain of J versus Breaker Fall.
Brain of J versus Breaker Fall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, who's going to tackle this one?
Well, I mean, what for me, I'm going to go right into it and say,
Okay.
Brain of J is very hard to beat. That's a really
Yes,
good song for me, and it's a
it
really
is.
great opener.
It is.
A friend of mine who's a big Pearl Jam fan even uses that as his like email address. So I mean,
Oh,
that's how
wow.
good that song is.
That's
So for
awesome.
me, I would lean on Yield for this one. What say you?
Well, what say me, sir, is we've got 1 point for Yield already.
Yeah. And guys,
Yeah.
if you don't know, if we split our votes, it goes into a tie. So it goes into a draw of that round.
Yeah, and the draw rounds are just like thrown out, and then the
Yep.
points are the ones that actually won. So yeah, this was tough for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I really like Breaker Fall. I like the way it opens binaural, but Brain of J is just
Great
man,
is
that thing
amazing.
it cooks. Yeah.
All right. So here came the first battle for me, a good one,
Okay.
with Faithful from Yield versus God's Dice from Binaural.
Yes.
How about you on this one, Keith? You started out.
All right. Hmm. This one was another close one for me.
Yes, it was.
Um, but I'm already starting to feel like you did when we did the Ryan Adams one. Um, I got to give it to Faithful.
Do you?
Yeah.
I had to give it to God's Dice.
Really?
Really like that track. The way I did it is I would listen to the one song for track two, then I'd listen to the other one for two, then I'd listen to three, and then three. That's how I was just kind of going through. And
Yeah.
when I listened to Faithful, I thought, yeah, this is definitely going Yield. But then I put on God's Dice and went, man, I really like this song.
See, yeah, it's interesting because God's Dice has a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great second track after Breaker Fall. I think one of the reasons I went with Faithful is because Eddie's doing like a very crooning type of voice in the
Yes.
verses.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
very unique melody, a very unique tone to his voice in that song, and that kind of won me over.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This was a first battle for me, but I don't know. Something
Yeah,
about that God's Dice song. I was like, here's another underrated. You don't hear this song mentioned too much, but really like it.
yeah, and there's a couple songs throughout both these albums, more so binaural, I think, where by the title of the song, I had to try to remember, like, because it's not based off the
Yeah.
main lyric. So
Yep.
for God's Dice, I actually took some notes here. For God's Dice, I quoted the lyrics, "Designate my luck, resignate," which is great. I
Yep.
mean, I I don't fault you for picking that one. This was a
Yep,
close one for me.
it is. So now we have No Way versus Evacuation.
I think you're
No
up,
Way
buddy.
from Yield versus Evacuation from Binaural.
What say you?
For me, this one I definitely went with No Way off of Yield. I just felt
Okay.
it flowed a little better. I like the sound of the song a little better. Yeah, I mean, for me, this one just kind of went Yield's way. This wasn't one of my harder ones.
Interesting.
Because for you, it was, I'm guessing.
Well, this was another hard one for me. Gosh, I'm actually, as I'm sitting here right now, it's almost a tie. Man, you know what? No Way is a better song. I got to give it to No Way. I was gonna go Evacuation just because I like the energy of it,
Yeah.
the edge to it. But again, you know, that verse is winning me over with No Way. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, it's a really cool melody.
It is.
So okay, Yields. Jeez.
Now we're in the home run spot, and they didn't mess up on this one. They gave two good shots on this.
Yeah.
We got Given the Fly
Whew.
versus Light Years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had the back there.
You were showing us the back.
Is this me? I think it's me.
Yeah, you go. This one.
All right. Gosh, this is so hard.
It is.
I'm going Light Years.
Me too. This is another one of my surprise ones where I thought, nope, that can't be Given the Fly. But then when listening to it, I went, damn, really like that song. So yeah, I did give it to Light Years as well.
I think Given the Fly is suffering from being overplayed a bit.
Possibly.
You know, is that the one where there was the controversy with the Led Zeppelin song ripping off the guitar riff, or was that something else?
That I'm not sure about. If that's the case.
Okay.
I didn't hear that.
I think it was this one. But yeah, I mean, the way he sings that chorus, it just soars, man. It's yeah. I'm surprised we both picked Light Years, but at least Binaural got a win in here.
There we go. Number 5.
All right.
What do we got here? Let's see if I can read it through all this ink. Wish List. First, Nothing is as it seems, or Nothing as it seems.
There's nothing as it seems. I think it's you, buddy.
Yeah, and I think I like how you sang that in that song as well. I went with Binaural on this one.
So did I.
Nice. That's a great song. Another great song.
It's a great song. A really kick-ass guitar solo.
Yep.
Is the highlight to that song. You know, Wish List it's fine. But
it is.
I've always thought that song's been a bit overrated.
Yeah, I would agree with you a lot on that. I didn't love that upon listening to it. Not that it's bad, but it's just I wasn't blown away by it. So when I got to that round, I kind of knew that was going to be an easy, because Nothing as it seems is fantastic. So didn't have to do a whole lot of thinking on that one.
Same here.
Now here we go with another one, track 6, which might be the end of side A, or I don't know. It's pretty close. How do you break down side A and side B on this?
Well, I used to have this vinyl and I had to sell it. So, according to I mean, I had the CD, but the way they seem to break it up, I think coincides with the vinyl. So I think Do the Evolution is actually the last song on side A. I'm not 100% sure, but.
Well, we got Pilate versus Thin Air. Pilate?
Pilot.
Is it Pilate? No, it's
Pilate.
not.
Yep, it is, like Pontius Pilate from the Bible.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Well, I said Pilates, so there we go. I had a different idea in my head.
Brad wanted to get some exercise. Just do some Pilates.
I said that pretty damn wrong, huh?
That's all right.
Okay. Interesting.
Comic relief. Unintentional.
Unintentional.
So we got Pilot versus Thin Air. Right?
We do. What did you think of this one?
Well, very different songs.
Very different.
Pilot's pretty heavy. Like Pilot, I have a dog. And Thin Air is beautiful.
It is.
Thin Air is beautiful. There's a light when my baby's in my arms. I don't know why I gave Eddie a country accent on that one, but
Yeah, that was strange.
um, dude, I got to go with Thin Air. This is a
I do too.
binaural for me. Yeah,
I do
okay.
too. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So I mean, for me, pilots, boy, man, I gotta retrain my brain on that.
That's all
But
right.
yeah, for me, I enjoy it, but it's not one of my favorite. When they're rockers, I'm touchy about. It's funny they do rock really good when they get heavy, and they do the pop songs really well. So
Well,
it's tricky when they stack them side by side. It's a little bit confusing.
well, and it's funny you mentioned that because I think during our either the Dark Matter or when we ranked the albums or maybe both, I had mentioned that I prefer my Pearl Jam edgy and raw,
Yeah,
but with a matchup like this, I mean, just think Thin Air is a better song.
I do too. Yep,
So yeah,
I agree with you. Well, now we do the evolution, or
yes, we do.
boy, see, insignificance.
Yes, I think
Boy,
you're up, buddy.
yeah, I am. And for this one, I'm closing out my first half here with "Do the Evolution." I really that's a fun track. So for
Yeah.
me, I went. That's where I went with mine.
Well, okay. This one
Oh,
was
you
very
did
tough for me. This one
okay.
was very tough for me. Do the Evolution rocks so hard,
It does.
so hard. And I love the part where, I'm a thief, I'm a liar, there's my
Yes.
church, I sing in the choir,
Yep.
and then they do the hallelujahs, so great. But I gotta tell you, Insignificance may be my favorite song on Binaural.
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That
I
surprises me.
love that song. There's something about the writing of that song. Um, there's something about the way he sings the chorus. How it starts with like those drums, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That song has always really grabbed me. So by a hair, I'm actually going to go Insignificance.
Woo.
This is going to be a
Well,
draw.
we got our second draw of the day.
We'll call it a draw.
Draw it is. So now
Well,
we
we're
move
going
on to
Red
red,
Bar
red bar versus. How do you read that? See, I'm covered in ink again.
of the Girl.
Oh, okay, there we go. Of
I'm
the girl.
sorry. I
Okay.
should be reading these titles here for you. I forgot you're struggling. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Some of these songs I can do, and some are like, hey, I'm underneath a letter here. But
I'm
yeah,
here if you need me.
this one to me is a little strange.
Well, yeah. Is it me this time? I think it's me.
I think it might be you.
Okay. So, I mean, Of the Girl is not among my favorite songs on
No.
Binaural, but I will say at least it's a song.
Yeah.
So, for me, this was easy. Of the Girl.
Yeah. This felt like cheating for binaural because it's
It
like
did.
you could have walked any song out there and it would have won that round. And I feel
Yeah.
bad for Yield because it's like, well, you probably should have been a 12 track album, is what I just found out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you do have to give it to
So,
binaural on this one.
so Red Bar, I mean, for those of you following along who may not be as familiar, Red Bar is basically just a minute of little music ditty, and then they just go, we're all crazy. And so it's just, I mean, it's fun, but it's not gonna
It's
it's
not
not
going
gonna
to be the
win
song.
against a song.
Yeah. True.
So
Yep. So now we got MFC versus Grievance.
Grievance. Yep. All right. MFC. I think it's you, by the way. Go ahead.
It is. And for me, MFC is this is one of my favorite songs off of Yield. Really enjoy the loud driving song. I mean, this one's a good rock band
Yes.
song for me for Pearl Jam. This is where they do it right. So for
Yeah.
me, I did go Yield on this one.
As did I.
Okay. Yeah, I felt like this was one of my easier ones for the Yield side where I really like the
Yeah.
song. And,
Me too.
okay.
I like Grievance, but this was a pretty clear cut winner for me as well. MFC.
Okay. We didn't have much hard, it wasn't much of a debate then.
Yeah.
Low Light versus Rival.
Oh man,
This was a tough one.
this was a tough one. This is me, right?
Yep. Yeah, this is
Uh,
you.
wow. Man, this is this is so close to a tie, but I know we can't do that. Low Light is so well written, so great, but I'm actually going with Rival.
I went with Rival too. I,
Wow.
I was leaning towards Low Light, and I listened to Rival a couple more times as I was going through it, and I was like, man, I really like Rival. And by the end of it, after listening to both of them a couple times, if I had to pick one out for like a mixtape, I would take Rival.
Well, and what that tells me, and it surprises me in a way, um, you know, Rival must be among my favorite songs on binaural if it's going to beat Low Light, is
Low
what I'm
Light,
getting. Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
because Low Light is high, exactly.
Yeah. Low Light is a highlight.
Exactly, it is really in
Oh,
hiding
here we go.
versus sleight of hand.
In
So,
hiding.
yep,
Sleight of
versus sleight
hand.
of hand.
This is you, buddy.
This is me. This was another one for me where going through it. So what I had to do a couple times is go through some of these where I wasn't sure immediately and listen to them through a couple times. And man, I really like the sleight of hand off binaural. So I went with that one.
Really?
Yep, I like sleight of hand. You
Wow.
seem shocked by that.
Dude, In Hiding is one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs of all time.
Oh well, there we go.
So you know where I went.
You went there. Okay, sleight of hand to me after I listened to them over and over.
That's
Yeah.
Sleight of Hand is underrated, but for me, there's not much that's going to beat In Hiding.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's split.
there's a draw. Yeah.
We've got a couple
Hey,
draws on here.
hey, we're doing pretty well, buddy. We only got 2 more left.
We do. This is going.
Yeah.
Push Me, Pull Me from Yield. Verse, Soon Forget.
Well, you want to talk about 2 very different songs.
Yeah, they were.
So Push Me, Pull Me from Yield. So if there were no angels, would there be no sin? He's doing a lot of talking in this.
Yeah.
But the music is very cool.
Yep.
And the hook is very cool. Push me, pull me. A unique song, which I like that. And also unique. Soon Forget, I believe it's just Eddie and a ukulele, which would foreshadow things to come.
Yep.
He's living a day he'll soon forget. Sounds like it's about an old guy who put too much importance on material things and wealth, and it's at the end of his life, and things aren't what they seem. I guess nothing as it seems.
Yep.
While I appreciate the experimental vibe and the kind of coolness factor of Push Me Pull Me, I've actually always been a fan of Soon Forget, so I'm going to go with that one.
I did too. Same reasons. I like
Oh,
Push Me, Pull Me is interesting. It's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
But Soon Forget, I think, is a better all around song. And it's going to stick out and be in my brain a little bit longer each time I hear it. So, yeah, Binaural, I think, takes that one.
Well, yeah, and Soon Forget is unlike anything on either album.
Yep, exactly.
Although I guess you could say the same thing about Push Me Pull Me. But
Yeah.
but yeah, wow, Binaural, dude. Woo.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Here we go. You got to read the last one, Jerry. I can't read it.
Okay. Well, we got the last song on Yield is All Those Yesterdays.
Yep.
And we've got Parting Ways on the Binaural last song there.
All right.
I guess you, buddy. Bring
It's
us home.
me. Well, for closing, and you're usually the guy who goes for closures more.
Yeah.
How you like to wrap up albums. I really like the way that All Those Yesterdays wrapped that Yield up. So I really did lean that way when I was going through this.
As did I.
Okay.
So that's a win for Yield. Parting Ways is cool. It's vibey.
Yeah.
Real cool way to end Binaural. But I mean, All Those Yesterdays, just the way it creeps in, and then when it gets to that part of "What are you running from? Taking pills to get along." Yeah, I mean that where it kind of stomps into that part and kind of changes the rhythm is so freaking cool.
It is cool.
So you're the Mr. Tallyman here. I have a feeling, just kind of paying attention. I have a feeling Binaural won this, but why don't you tell me the real facts?
Well, the facts are going into this. If this was a betting situation, I think Yield was the favorite going into this.
Sure.
And Yield got its ass kicked. Of the 13 tracks, it only won 4 of them. Binaural won 6, and there were 3 draws. So
3 draws. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So Binaural takes it home.
Well, and this kind of highlights what we do here on the Song by Song, where we we'll take one that maybe now when we did the Beatles, they were both pretty tied as far as acclaim. Although
Yeah.
maybe Revolver had a little bit more acclaim, I guess, overall. But no, that it definitely does, which I don't necessarily always know why. But this one, I mean, I think people sleep on this album.
Oh, they
And
definitely sleep on it.
yeah, and maybe if nothing else from this video, Pearl Jam fans, if you're kind of have always had this towards the bottom of your ranking in your hearts and minds, maybe revisit it.
Yeah, I
Um,
would. I
but
would.
I mean, Yield is fantastic too. I mean, this is a hard thing to do.
It is.
Um, but we are into self-torture here at the KMB Music Den. So,
Yeah.
so but hey, folks, if you want to do it in the comments, break down each song, or just say, hey, I did this in my head, and this album had this many songs, and remember, if it's well, you're only yourself, so you would
Yeah.
win either way. But if you want to do it with a friend, you could do it where if you each pick, one album and the other, and then it becomes a draw. That might be a fun way to do it the way we do it too. So
Yeah.
that's up to you. We will not police you at home, but yeah. So a little surprising binaural one.
I am too. I mean, I told myself if it
Happy.
was by one vote, I was going to call it a draw because of that red bar situation. I felt like
Yeah, yeah.
Yield kind of was being treated unfairly there, but it was by more than just one vote. So
Yeah. Binaural has a cool booklet too, actually. Typewritten
yeah,
lyrics. Kind of reminds me a bit of the Vitology packaging. There's the guys there.
yeah, it's cool.
But so yeah, we're gonna do more of these. We're gonna resurrect this series. I think it's a lot of fun. So folks, weigh in on Yield versus Binaural in the comments. Also, are there two albums you want us to pit against each other? We typically do two from the same band, but I know, Brad, we've discussed maybe down the road we'll do, like, let's say a Billy Joel album and an Elton John album that have the same
Yeah,
amount of songs, because
yep.
they kind of always get lumped together. That sort of thing. We could do a Beatles versus a Stones album.
Mm-hmm.
Zeppelin versus who? Sabbath or something. I have no idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's wide open, in other words. So in the comments, make suggestions. We always take a look at that, and if we're into it, we'll do it for you. So for as always, Brad, I am Keith. This is the K Music Den. Please like this video, share it on social media. Subscribe to the channel, smash the bell for notifications, and we'll be back with more song versus song. Tons of albums coming out this year, and we're going to stay on top of everything for you as best we can. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching, and thanks to all the new Pearl Jam subscribers. Please weigh in on this one. Dark Matter, we're still loving it, and
Yeah.
give us your rundown on Yield versus Binaural, song versus song. Thanks, Brad.
As always.
See you guys soon.